Hello everyone, this is Christian Interactive, and in this video we are going to focus on first adding a little display that shows the categories for a plan. We'll go through how we find the percentages and calculate the differences, and we will finish up making a little visual change to make it a little bit easier to tell which securities belong to which category by adding in colors based on the categories. So those are the two things that we will focus on in this video. Alright, and before we get started, as usual, I'd like to say thank you for taking the time to watch the video and for subscribing. And of course, if you're not a subscriber and find the video interesting or helpful in any way, I hope you'll please consider subscribing to the channel. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started here and pick up where we left off. So now we have our securities being displayed from all of our accounts. I do want to take the time, it's not readily apparent at the moment, but I want to sort of order the list just a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is go into our store here. We have our index file, and inside of the store we have some functions. Functions that we're using. Some of them include, for instance, a sort method. So let's just export that. And we're inside the home component or home view here. And let's import, where are we at? So let's import from here. So what do we want? We wanted sort. All right. And down here when we're mounting and we're finding our groups here, what I'll do is just throw on the end of this line here. Probably could be, we'll put it right here. So we'll do sort. What we're going to sort is the stuff that we were already assigning to that group, and then I just want to sort by, and what we'll sort by is we have the security in there and it has a symbol. So we'll order this list by symbols. So there again, they're already grouped by category, so inside of that category then we'll sort by the symbol. We saw a little bit of flipping there. Alright, so what we now are going to start doing is dealing with the fact that our portfolios, the plans themselves, have percentages associated with them, and those percentages are based on the categories that all of the securities are in. So let's start to deal with that. So if we're going to deal with a percentage, we need to know, and it's based on the values. So let's get the total value of everything here. So private get total value. So what we'll do is we'll look over what we have are these account securities, of course. So let's return this dot account securities and reduce, and it gets a little bit cumbersome here because we'll be reducing again, but so let's and probably could come up with better names maybe or something, but I don't feel like doing it. So we'll say that'll be pre plus something related to the current. And while we're at it, since we'll know that the pre is a number, we're going to put that number there. And I feel like I must have missed something there, but now we're on our current here. So what we'll do now is, I guess, current. Yeah, so current is an element of this array. Again, this array is made up of basically a sort of tuple array, first being a string and then the other one being the account security array itself. So what we're needing to do is to deal with that array. So this is a current one, so now we'll reduce again, since again it's an array. So let's just call it pre1 and cur1. Inside of there, we will, again, pre1 plus something cur1 and 0 again, so that we know pre is a number. And on here, we have a value. So I think that should give us the total value. We'll find out here shortly. Next up, we're going to need to know what the value is in a category. So let's come down, we'll create a new method here. So private category value. Pass me a category, which is the string. It's actually, I guess, the abbreviation is what we're dealing with. And we'll just say return this dot account securities, and we'll filter. We're looking on there. We need the ones that have the first, which again is the key, which, like I said, is technically the abbreviation. What we'll do is map. So let's take that. I guess we could have done a mapping on those reducing up there if it's easier to follow. Take out the array. Now we'll reduce again. So pre-current. I'm going to do this whole mess again. I guess we could probably create a function for it instead of redoing it every time, but and this is pre1. So pre1 plus cur1 dot value. It's a number. Start off with that. We need a number to start there, and we're good to go. So now we can get the value for a category. So if we have the number for the category, let's get a percentage. So private category percent, and in here we'll pass in a portfolio category, which will be type portfolio category model, which apparently I forgot to import. So let's put that up there. Perfect. And then we'll just return, and what we'll do is return this dot category value. So we'll get the category value. So we'll do that for the portfolio category dot abbreviation. So once we have that, might have one too many parentheses or more parentheses than are required, but this dot total value times that by 100. So go ahead and save that. Now we're going to find out if that worked correctly. So we'll come up here to our template. So we have our select, which is picking the category, the plan. What I'm going to do is add another div, move my select inside of there, and then below that we are going to add stuff to it. So we'll say div, and we'll do v-if. I guess right now we don't really have a problem since we're picking the first one. Selected plan. So if the selected plan is set, then we'll do stuff. So we'll make another UL, make an LI, put a row on it, so we'll have little headings. We'll have a category. We'll have a plan. The actual, so that's the percentage from the plan. And then we'll have a label for difference. So now we have our labels. Let's make another row. Add some stuff to this. So this is V4 portfolio category in selected plan dot. It has a categories. So we'll have a div. And we have our portfolio category dot category dot abbreviation. Div portfolio category dot percent. We'll do 2 fixed, 1 decimal place. Now we have our functions. So we have a category percent. Pass in the portfolio category. So we're getting that percent. And actually, I'm Yeah, we'll leave them off using percent symbols. So we have that, and once we get it, let's do again 2 fixed, 1 decimal place. And last but not least, what do we have? Oh, the difference. So category percent, portfolio category. Subtract off the portfolio categories dot percent. And I should have had a set of parentheses around that. Parentheses there, 1 there. So we can do our 2 fixed again. Cross our fingers, and there we go. So now we have each category, and we see what the plan says it should be. So if we change it, it updates. We have the actual values, and of course the difference changed when we changed the plan. So that's all working well. And let's now make this a little bit easier to use. So what I want is, so instead of having the whole view scroll, what I'd like to do is have the categories themselves always stay in view, and then just scroll the symbols themselves so we can see, because again, at the end we'll have little buttons to press, and we'll see how the difference changes as we press and increase shares. So it'd be good to have it on screen the whole time. So let's go about doing that. And the first thing, slightly outside of where we are, we go to our router outlet view, and we have this router view animatable. So if you look here, we have the router view, and then the animatable item has that class on it. Let's just go down to that and add to this overflow auto. That won't do it for us quite yet. Let's come back to our home view here. So we have the home. Again, right now it has as children, 2 children, this div and that UL. Let's come down to our styling. So on home, what we'll do is going to say display, and set it to grid, please. We have our padding, set our height to be 100%. We'll have grid, template, rows. So the first one, auto, I want the percentage area to take up as much space as it needs, but no more. And then we'll give the rest of it to the securities themselves. And then we do have added it previously, but let's use it now. So account securities. And actually, now that I think about it, if we look back here, I mentioned adding in a previous video this, and I misspelled it. So let's add our I. So now we have account securities. And we have account securities. We'll say overflow auto. Save that. And now we can see that our scroll bar jumped from the outside to just being scrolling our securities. So again, we can see the percentages the entire time. I think the last thing that we'll focus on in this particular video is making it just a little bit easier to use. It'd be easier if these things, we had some visual way of showing which ones belong to which categories. We're actually going to do that with, I think, a little bit of color here. So let's go to our security category model. What we'll do is add a property to this, which is color, which will be a string. Put a private color string. Don't feel like typing them, so let's just public getters for them. Public getter setter. Come down to our constructor. So this dot color is equal to config dot color. I forgot doing this. I haven't been doing this. Someday we'll need it eventually, I guess. So let's add that there and save it. We won't see any changes yet. We actually are going to have an error. So if we come into security category initial state, we'll see on the right there some red error bars. Problem is, of course, that we need to specify color. It's no fun just watching me add these colors. They're somewhat. I just to a color picker and started picking colors. So now all I've done is added the color to create the category. So we'll save that. And finally, we'll get to the point where we can see some change. So back to our home view. If we scroll up to the top here into our template, again, what I'm going to do, it's a little too busy to color all of these rows. It's not as bad down here because there's tends to be multiple securities within a color, or within a category, so with a color. But this would be a color a new color every line. It's a little too busy for me. So what we'll do is come into our UL here, into our row, and I'm going to add a new label and just give it a class of color. Down here we'll do the same thing, so div.color. What we'll do is vbind style. Let's give us an object to work with here, and so what we're binding to is the background color. The value that we're going to do is the portfolio category dot color. Let's go ahead and save that. We've got nothing right now just because of sizing. So let's come down to styles. So we have that color class, and now we'll say height 1.5 rem. Max width is going to be 0.75 rem, and margin right, just to push things over a little bit, 0.25 rem. Let's save that, and now we have a little color indicator next to our categories. And the last thing, like I was mentioning, for color wise, we're going to come up to the top here and do the actual securities themselves here. Let's make sure I've got the right spot here. Inside of here, right here. So vbind, so style again, and give us an object. What we'll do is our background color again. This time this is on the LI itself. So background color. Where do we get the color? We have our account security category color. So now we have colors associated with all of those categories. It makes it a little bit easier to tell when something belongs to a particular category. And again, we're scrolling here and still keeping the percentages in view. So I think that will take care of it for what we wanted to get done in this video. Of course, we are going to pick up from here. We'll do a little more improvement to tell, make it easier to know what category we're dealing with up here. Sometimes a little hard, look at this, oh, this is the green category. Now I've got to come up and look through all the colors till I find the green one. So we'll make it a little bit easier than sort of highlighting. But we will see that, I think, in the next video. Until then, I will talk to you later. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. I know that your time is valuable. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button, as well as share the video with your friends. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to you in the next video.